The next morning, Kim entered a wedding gown fitting shop carrying a paper bag. Approaching the receptionist, she inquired about returning a wedding dress for a refund. The receptionist asked to see the dress. After inspecting it, she informed Kim that since the dress had been worn, she could only receive half of the original price. Frustrated, Kim argued that she had only worn it once and for a short time. The receptionist stood firm, explaining that rules were rules, and the delay in returning it also played a factor. Reluctantly, Kim agreed to the half-price refund. As she waited, she looked around the shop, reminiscing about the time she had been there with Sunjin, fitting her wedding dress. Those had been the happiest moments of her life. Just then, Sunjin and Minsu walked in, hand in hand. Kim quickly hid behind the curtains, watching them intently. As she remained hidden, Sunjin pulled Minsu closer, expressing how happy he was to be there with her. He told her he couldn't wait to see how she would look. Minsu smiled, sharing that she was just as happy. Holding her hand even closer, Sunjin spoke about how much he looked forward to their wedding and the life they would build together afterward. He then kissed her forehead and told her he loved her. Blushing, Minsu responded that she loved him too. Kim stood there, her heart breaking as she watched them. That could have been her life, and yet it had been stolen from her. To make matters worse, they had the audacity to visit the same wedding gown store she had originally chosen. She considered stepping out to confront them, but held herself back. Just then, the receptionist arrived, glancing around in search of Kim. She greeted Sunjin and Minsu, then asked if they had seen a young woman. Both shook their heads, saying they hadn't. The receptionist smiled and expressed her pleasure at seeing them, adding that everything had been prepared for their visit. Sunjin's phone rang, and after taking the call, he turned to Minsu with a disappointed expression. He informed her that there was an emergency at the office that required his immediate attention. Pulling her close once again, he offered to stay since this was such an important day. However, Minsu reassured him with a smile, telling him it was okay for him to go and that she would be fine. Sunjin promised to return as soon as possible and mentioned that he would call Yuna to keep her company so she wouldn't be alone. Minsu assured him that it wasn't necessary. Before leaving, Sunjin gave her a gentle kiss and turned to the receptionist, instructing her to take care of Minsu and provide her with anything she needed. He smiled at Minsu one last time before walking out. The receptionist, still smiling, told Minsu that she was incredibly lucky and that she and Sunjin made a beautiful couple. Minsu thanked her, then took a seat as the receptionist went to confirm that everything was in order. Kim remained hidden, her gaze fixed on Minsu. A deep resentment burned within her. She regretted ever meeting her,